According to Golf World, Butch Harmon is here to help Tiger Woods. Tiger's one-time teacher told Golf World he would be willing to help his former pupil on a part-time basis to reform his career. This is what he wrote. If he wanted, I'd be more than happy to spend a couple of hours and give him my opinion. I don't think he would ask because it goes against his pride. As a fan of great golf, it's hard to watch him pitch the ball now. You can see it's a total lack of confidence. If I was him, I wouldn't play until I'm healthy. I know you say you need the tournament reps and all that. Not necessarily for him. The big thing is the Masters. We know he knows how to play. Harmon added, he can call, he can text, he can do whatever. Just listening to this conversation, I think it's interesting, Skip, because you've been saying a long time that he needs to get back with Butch.
Yeah.
Your take on his comments, how do you interpret that?
Yeah, Stephen A., this is a long-time pet topic of mine, just like the court storming we just talked about. I have long said on this show, Tiger Woods has never been quite as dominant under subsequent coaches, starting with Hank Haney, as he was under the great Hank Haney from 1997, his first breakthrough year, Tigers, until 2004 when Tiger fired Butch Harmon. I've told you before, what I loved about Butch and still love about him as he tutors other golfers, he's not so much about your swing, your mechanics, all the science of golf. He coaches your psyche, and I thought he did a superb job of coaching young Tiger's psyche, almost willing and talking him into being as all-time, unreal, never-before-seen dominant as Tiger was, as you recall, especially around that 2000, 2001 seasons. So, again and again, I thought, would he ever go back to Hank? And I campaigned for it. A lot of people in golf campaigned for it. And the bridge was burned because I'm pretty sure, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure Tiger fired Hank because Tiger, in his view, started to think that Hank was taking a little too much credit for Tiger. Maybe he was, because Hank has probably as big an ego as Tiger Woods had at this point. I thought Hank Haney did a good job with Tiger. I've been a friend of Hank's in the past, but it was never quite the same without Butch Harmon. So now, all of a sudden, after all this bad blood, Butch steps up. Even last year he said, nope, I will never go back to Tiger. And suddenly he says, oh, I would sit down with Tiger for a couple of hours to try to talk him through his problems. It's hard to watch him chipping the ball now. I could be really wrong about this. This is my 2 cents worth on this. It came across as a guy who still has some bitterness towards Tiger with a little kick while Tiger's down, because he's way down now. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a great player in any sport fall so far as Tiger Woods has, to the point that the rudimentary parts of golf, just chipping the golf ball, he just can't do it. He just finally had to say, I can't do it. Now, again, is he hurt? I'm not sure how hurt his back is after he did go through the off-season surgery of a year ago. But to me, it came across as Butch gigging him a little bit from a distance, saying, oh, sure, I'd sit down for a couple of hours with Tiger. Well, would he coach him again? Would he teach him again? Would he commit to it? No, he wouldn't do that. So it seemed a little pathetic to me on both sides that he would take this little shot when Tiger's down, because I don't think Hank harbors much love anymore for a kid that I think he really loved for those years that he coached him.
Skip Bayless, what I'm about to say, most of it is going to be in question form, because when it comes to the game of golf, I lean on your expertise. I don't watch it all the time. I know the major players. I watch them periodically from time to time. I know who they are. I know who their coaches are. But I don't love the sport the way that you do. I just love watching Tiger. But I'll ask you this question, sort of rhetorically, sort of not so much. Did it ever occur to you that what's really going on here is some really low blows aimed in Tiger's direction? He's down as much as we've ever seen him. You got Hank Haney, who wrote a tell-all book. You got this guy, Butch Harmon, who's still a bit bitter. And, you know, people are quick to say, I'll never work with him again. They'll add as a caveat, he'll never ask. But what they really want the world to know is that we don't really want anything to do with him. We ain't trying to work with him. And to me, it gives off the image and the perception. This is not a good guy. This is not somebody we really want to have anything to do with. We just love the sport of golf, and we recognize how great he once was. So we might be willing to help him try to get back on the right track. To me, they're just throwing salt in the wound, and they are just sticking their foot on the proverbial throat of Tiger Woods when you know he's gasping for air and could barely resuscitate himself.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting from this. Whether it's Butch Harmon, whether it was Hank Haney with the tell-all book or whatever, I'm getting that kind of vibe from these people. And that says to me, Skip, that it's not just them, but it's a lot of people in the sport of golf who are really enjoying sticking it to Tiger, because I don't believe, considering what you talk about etiquette and decorum, I don't believe that the sport of golf, two people so associated with the sport, so intimately associated with the sport, the way the Haneys of the world, the way the Butch Harmons of the world have been associated with the sport, would go to this length to do this to Tiger. It's evil on their part as far as I'm concerned, and I don't think they're alone in this, Skip. That's just what I get as an outsider looking in. Tell me how wrong I am.
No, I mean, that was my point about Butch. I think it's, I hate to say kicking him while he's down, but it's a little kick in the backside. Just it's the low blow on the part of Butch
Is
Harmon.
it a little? But I guess what I'm asking you is it a little, Skip, or is it a lot? Like, are you really digging it to him?
It's just gigging him a little bit. I don't know that you're actually kicking him in the face while he's down. You might be kicking him in the pants while he's down.
I have
but,
an
you know,
inquiry as well.
Yeah.
You often say golf needs Tiger.
Oh, huge. It still does. I hate to admit it, but it still does.
Well, then why wouldn't this have any bit of sincerity?
You mean that
Why
Butch
would
is
Butch-
trying to save golf a little bit?
Why wouldn't he be really extending a helping hand?
Because he said it would just be for a couple of hours. Yeah, I'd be glad to sit down with Tiger for a couple of hours. I'm not sure he could heal what ails Tiger in a couple of hours. It just came across as a little sort of gesture, a little offer that he knew, and then he ended it by saying, but Tiger's pride won't let him do it.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing slightly, but that's probably true. Now, a couple of quick points of order to what you said. You said that Hank Haney wrote a tell-all. It was a golf tell-all, but it wasn't a scandal tell-all. He left all the scandal aside. He did not touch any of the affairs, the cheating.
Okay.
He didn't get into any of those dirty details. There was none of that in there. And I think he prided himself when we had him on here to talk about the book that he didn't get into any of that. It was all about golf.
That's fair.
And it was very enlightening. And it was written in the tone of, this is why Tiger failed, because he did this. And I learned a lot because Tiger was trying to be a Navy SEAL. You know, he went and tried to become one. He wanted to actually join the Navy and become a SEAL, and he hurt his knee while he was on maneuvers with the SEALs. Are you kidding me?
Let me interject with a question. With a question. Skip, did Tiger have any issue with what Haney wrote?
I don't know. He never talked about
Because
it.
see,
Never acknowledged it.
what I meant when I say a tell-all, I didn't mean it like salacious personal
Nothing
details.
salacious,
I
no.
was simply saying that even if you're talking about golf and you're talking about Tiger's game, there are nuances that Tiger Woods may not have wanted the public to know.
Definitely.
That Haney decided to write anyway. That's all I meant by that.
He wrote it. Okay, but remember, in both cases, Butch Harmon, Hank Haney, Tiger unceremoniously fired both of them, okay? So you have to remember, you can call it sour grapes or bitter, whatever you want to, axe to grind, but Tiger fired both of them without any fanfare, without any, no parting gifts here, you know, like there was no warmth. It just was, boom, you're gone. And I think it stung both of them, especially Butch Harmon. Listen, I know you don't follow it closely. Butch Harmon is an incredibly successful teacher of a whole lot of players. Even just lately, what he did with Phil Mickelson's game was astonishing. What he did last summer with Ricky Fowler, who I thought was all style and no substance, and he got him to finish, what was it, top 5 in all 4 majors. It was astonishing what he did with Ricky Fowler's mind last year. So he's a great teacher on his own right. He can stand on his own with or without Tiger Woods. But Tiger just said, boom, you're gone. And I thought Butch, you know, he probably thought that he deserved a little better than that.
Under Butch Harmon, Tiger, you said this, 8 majors, 31 PGA Tour titles from 97 to 2004.
You know what? That was the greatest stretch of golf we will ever see from any individual ever. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
97 to 04, folks.
Yeah.
We leave it there. Will we see greatness from Kobe again? You know what Kobe does not find great? His teammates. They're not very amusing to him. Why is that, you ask? We discuss it on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.